the woman that worked for him, was my friend's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea. So here she is. He and I are working in the store. She knows this guy who owns this whole big toy selling corporation. And then she also knew this gentleman who was one of three partners in a beer distributor called Triangle Distributing here in Santa Fe Springs, California. A guy named Jim Fleming. She says, you know what? I think, why don't you go see Jim Fleming and talk to him about going to work for the beer company? So I went at 25 years old, and he met me. He knew her so well. He met me, and he says, yeah, quick interview, and he says, come on. Takes me downstairs, introduces me around, goes to the HR manager and says, this is my friend, Dennis Quinn. Tell me what you got for him and when he can start.
Nice.
So
Good way to get a job.
It was great. I took whatever they had. I ended up merchandising beer 3 days a week and then working on the weekends doing can recycling out in the parking lot. That's how it started.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it all evolved for 15 years to like on-premise sales manager, national accounts manager, things like that.
So interesting and great that a friend's mom introduced you, and it panned out the way that it did. Clearly, you delivered on your workability and willingness to work hard if you spent that many years working there.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did.
What was it about the job that you liked that kept you around there so long? So that would have been, at that point, the longest career stop that you had of 15 years?
At that point, absolutely.
Yeah. And
it was, what kept me there? The beer kept me there. The bar downstairs, definitely, with the open faucets, definitely kept me there. The people, the camaraderie, the excitement of, and the challenge of the contests, all the sales opportunities, all the contests, all the, the opportunity to make more money by selling more, or get better distribution than anybody else, or take a brand and that Anheuser-Busch would bring in and make it work. But at the time, we sold the 20-pack loose bottles of Corona, and everybody made money on that.
Yeah.
Till volume got big, and then everybody made no money on that.
Yeah.
Those were the things, You'd take Baby's champagne coolers that came out of Anheuser-Busch or Dewey Stevens wine coolers when wine coolers were cool. And you just, if you loved them, you went out and you sold your ass off.
Sure. Sure. Any sales techniques that you had, in the early part of your career that worked for you? Because I know we've got a lot of people that are in the spirits industry that listen to this show, but what were some of your techniques? I think you mentioned a couple, by the way, already, and that was being honest, right? Believing in your product.
That and being consistent. And always knowing, this is the most important thing. If you want to be a sales guy and you want to maintain respect from people and be able to go back and sell something else later, you damn well better deliver on your promise. Don't go in, sell somebody on something you truly don't believe in. It's only to pad your pocket and expect to go, and it doesn't work, and expect to go see that guy again. You need every customer you ever see. So you need to tell the truth, back your product, and do everything you promised. And those people will take care of you throughout your life of sales, no matter what you sell or how long in the future they see you again.
Yeah.
I can go back to customers 25 years later. They'll remember me, and they won't throw me out of the store because I didn't bullshit them.
Yeah.
I didn't give them a stack of 10 cases of crap, because I wanted to go to Hawaii.
Yeah. There's no shortcuts, is there?
No. You can take them, but it'll limit your career.
Yeah.
And limit your opportunities later.
Yeah.
Kind of like where we're at now. Had I been that type of person and burnt that many bridges, I don't think we'd be having this podcast discussion at the moment.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because you would know, you would have heard, and my name would have been basically crap in the industry.
Yeah. Well, it's just as easy to deliver on your promise as it is to not. So might as well deliver on the promise and just do a good job.
I have no desire to be looking over my shoulder ever.
Yeah.
At people or, that I've screwed over.
How do you keep track of all your customers? I mean, obviously to do a good job and be efficient and follow through on your promise, whatever that promise is, how do you keep track of what those promises are and your customers? Did you have a system? I'm famous for having a yellow pad, a legal yellow pad, and I write all my notes on that and I refresh it every day. But that's just me. Did you have any little techniques?
We carried a book, and at the time, so that was before all the electronic, input.
Yeah.
MSI and things like that were some of the first to come out. Yeah, we had paper cards, inventory, order for every account, every day, every month, and you wrote in the margins.
Mm-hmm.
You always kept track of, or you use little highlight stickers. You've made promises here.
Yeah. Okay,
and these are the first people you need to go back to, or here are the code dates for the things that you sold that you're going to have to be cognizant of, and know that you have to maintain those dates throughout your route or whatever. And if it was a promotional type of thing, then and you promised an outcome, you had to do that.
Yeah, follow through.
Yeah, absolutely follow through.
Follow through.
And then you check things off as you go.
What'd you do after that career? 15 years selling beer for them.
I took a couple of years off. I went and started a charitable deal where I called it Learning Tools for Schools.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go pick up computers from people who had, some old 486 or something, or, maybe it was a Pentium 1 or 2 processor in it. And I would take parts, rebuild these computers, and donate them to local schools or after-school programs. That was all good, and it went real well. But it didn't make me any money.
Yeah.
All it did was cost me money. But that was okay.
So it sounds like you had a successful career, the beer distribution company selling, where you were comfortable enough to take some time off and go into the venture of charity work.
I didn't have the financial comfort level of just leaving work.
Mm-hmm.
I had a pretty debilitating back injury. Was in a Stater Brothers one day, and merchandising before the deliveries and so forth, and before taking the order. It'd be up at 800, 900, 1,000 cases before I hit this store, in cramped quarters in the cold boxes, and after 13 years of doing all these things and hauling kegs, and I just twisted, turned, leaned over the wrong way, and blew a couple of discs.
Oh wow!
So it was 2 years of conservative therapy. I didn't opt for surgery. I just went for the injections and spine, and
good move.
Do all good things. Yeah,
good move.
Yeah.
So did you get back to work somewhere else after that? I mean,
I did.
I know where you ultimately wound up, so we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But it's an interesting journey. So there was a gentleman. I can't remember how I got connected with this guy, but he had an energy drink, and it was called Dark Dog. Dark Dog.
They didn't go very far, did they?
No. So this guy was out of San Diego area, and he had the national import rights for this product. It's an Austrian product. So we ran around. He had me go into places. He had it in a few Coors, Miller, and AB distributors, SoCal, Arizona.
So let me ask, Dark Dog out of Austria, Was Red Bull already in the U.S.?
Yes.
Okay. That's why the Austria, there's something to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a little yellow can with a dog. Looked like he was going poop. Little three-legged dog. It was some artsy-fartsy thing.
I don't know if that's the best-selling technique from a marketing point of view.
I don't think it went over real well.
What's in the can? Hopefully not dog poop.
Exactly. Yeah. Funny thing is, he had me drive up. So Red Bull's got their little car with the can on it. So he gets a little truck, throws a Dark Dog can on it. There's a big beverage expo in New Orleans. Well, guess who gets to drive from Southern California to freaking New Orleans?
You did.
I was the guy. I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah. So I got laughed at a lot at truck stops.
Yeah, I bet.
And, pretty much abused all the way there through Houston and everything else, all the way out to 10. Went to the show. And I remember one of the most interesting guys I met was this big, tall guy. And he came and he asked me about the product, asked me what was in it, how did it work. And I thought, this guy, he must know something because he's asking me a lot of questions. He worked for Hanson's. Okay.
Hanson's Beverage Company.
Hanson's Beverage. Yeah.
Yep. So at the time,
Hanson's Natural.
Yeah. So they were making natural sodas, right?
That's right.
Yeah, they were popular. What was that? The 80s, 90s?
That was in the 30s when Hanson did his juice thing, and the owners of the two gentlemen that bought the Hansons out of bankruptcy, Hilton, Schlossberg, and Rodney Sachs. They're the ones that ended up with that other brand. But they had known about energy. They knew what was going on.
So you get this tall guy asking you a lot of energy drink questions.
tall guy by the name of Mark.
Oh,
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark Hall. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Interesting guy. But he was interesting, and I didn't think anything of it. He worked for a juice company, and I think they were looking at it was about the year 2000, 1999, 2000, and they had some things. They had some energy. They had some Hanson's energy, different flavors. I saw it at my Miller distributor out in the valley. Saw it at the Coors distributor out here in San Bernardino, and the guys in Orange County. And it was interesting, but I think they had the Energade too, or something else.
Okay.
So they were trying the energy smoothies and the good for you little 8.3 ounce cans of energy, but nothing spectacular. Nobody was doing anything. Red Bull was doing everything.
Yeah.
They owned it. They were killing it.
Sure.
So what my Coors distributor in H&L in Orange County, they told me, they said, guy pulls me aside, my distributor guy, and he says, "Look, Dennis, I got to tell you, that stuff you're selling, that energy stuff, we're probably going to get rid of it, but we like you. We like the way you're here consistently. We like the way you take care of us. We like the things you've been able to do with a brand that we have no belief in.
Yeah.
I got a guy. If you're interested in going back into beer, there's a guy I want you to talk to." I said, "Well, yeah, this guy's kind of, I'm not going to badmouth anybody, but it wasn't working out so well for me. So an opportunity to go to work for another beer company, but this time an import company for a European English brand. This crazy dark beer that it was kind of cool. Yeah. Newcastle beer.
Newcastle.
Nuki Brown Ale.
Know it well.
That's right.
Thanks to guys like you.
Yeah. So what the hell? So I went and talked to the guy and got hired on the spot, called the other guy, "Hey, I'm really sorry. If you can't pay your distributors back, I got to go.
Yeah.
You're wrecking my reputation."
Yeah, sure.
And I would never do the things you're doing. So let's go forward. And Newcastle was amazing.
Yeah, great brand.
I tried selling the Red Hooks and, the things that Anheuser-Busch would come out when I was with the Bud distributor, Elk Mountain Red Ale, they had bought the Red Hook breweries, right, as from those guys.